All right, welcome to Nathaneal Podcast. Today we have a special guest, one of my friends who I've been trying to get on the podcast. I'm really excited to talk to him. Logan Gott, welcome, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. The reason why I'm really excited to talk with you is because you're one of the few guys who I've seen crush it consistently. Like I've been on the X game for a year now, and you were in the X game before me, and you're still crushing it right now. So what I want to dive in more is like, how are you able to like have that longevity and all that? But before that, I'd like to learn more of like how you got started here on X. What was your initial steps? Like how did you get in here?
Yeah, good question. So, first of all, I actually started, so I was about 15 and I was looking for anything I could do to make money online. I just didn't want to do something like work at a gas station or like I wanted something that was going to set me up for the future so I did not also have to go to college. With those two things in mind, I started looking on websites to find anything that I could do. And one of them said making money on Twitter. I don't even remember specifically what it was about making money on Twitter, but I joined Twitter, started an anonymous account, and it was terrible, to be honest. I was giving like terrible advice. I had no prior knowledge in the business space at all. I had no idea how to build an account, but slowly and surely started just to kind of grind and figure it out. Did a little bit of affiliate marketing. And it slowly just kind of transitioned into what I do now.
What year was this when you started?
Ooh, this was 2021, I believe.
Right, right. So like it was in the early because I think I consider the boom of X when Danco became like big, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
that's kind of like how I see it. I don't know if that's how you see it as well, or is that do you think that's a legit assumption?
Yeah, I guess you could view it that way. My view of that is just like when basically anything you post with like a certain format was just going viral. Like it didn't matter what it was necessarily,
Right.
and it could work for any niche because that's just kind of how Twitter was set up. Like nowadays you can do that a little bit, but it's just not the same at all. So that's kind of what I would tie it to. But yeah, Dan Coe, like when he was going viral all the time, like that was an awesome time as well.
Yeah, I think that was like because I've spoken to a couple of people who was also in the X game before, and they talked about like how before it was so easy, the community was so like good. Everyone was like really helping each other out, but then now it's become this toxic world. We can dive into that. But I was wondering like how did you evolve then? So you went on X, you did some affiliate marketing, but like how did that the ghostwriting take form?
Yeah, good question. Again. So yeah, went into affiliate marketing, was growing anonymous accounts, and finally started to have success growing the anonymous accounts. The affiliate marketing actually made me a few $1,000s, but like that's just not great. But it was a good amount of money for me at least at that time to start investing in more things. And from that, I kind of like started a group teaching other people how to grow their accounts after I had a little bit of success and then just started to grow massively. I started an extra account, so I had two accounts going at that time, and that second account with a bunch of like visuals and viral formats, I grew it to over 400,000 followers, over 100,000 followers within like 3 months, and was just really taking over the anon accounts like section of Twitter by storm, honestly, and was teaching a bunch of other people how to do it. I started like doing done for you services where I would grow other people's anonymous accounts so that they could sell their products. And that's kind of how I got into the ghostwriting side of things, was actually just creating these anonymous accounts for other people. And then it slowly transitioned as Elon came in, said, hey, this is not how the algorithm is going to work anymore. You can't just go viral all the time. It has to be genuine value. And I was like, oh crap, like we're screwed. And it shut down all of business. And yeah, I just started to reach out to more business owners to actually start building a real agency. Joined a nice coaching program, and yeah, I mean, it went from there. And now we're kind of getting into the LinkedIn side, which is now my main offer, actually. So that I guess I think that answers your question. But yeah, crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, so it seems that Elon Musk's like acquisition really kind of hindered or somewhat like I wouldn't say hindered, but kind of like affected the X algorithm a lot, didn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like,
What happened? Like
yeah,
based on your observation.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I guess the biggest thing you could say is that the big accounts wouldn't automatically go viral every time they posted. He was more so giving a fair chance to everyone so that like if an account with 100 followers got 10 likes compared to their usual maybe one like, then it would start to promote that post more because it's better than usual for their account. So it's like it almost started favoring like outlier posts instead of just the
Mm.
big accounts. So it really started to shut that down. And then he started focusing not so much on just getting as many likes as possible, but the engagement side of things. How many comments were actually going onto their profile? How many bookmarks? And with anonymous accounts, you don't get very many of either one of those. So I think that, in my opinion, was what really stopped that.
Interesting. It's very interesting. So really before I'm just really curious right now because I've never experienced that where you just post and you just go viral. But it seems that before like that's really what happens. You just post something and it goes viral.
Yeah, I mean, you get used to like the frameworks and stuff, and like what goes viral and stuff. But like, I could post a bad post and it would still get 400 likes, which is now just like that's crazy. Like a bad post is going to give me
Yeah.
4 likes. Like it was an insane time.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Wow. Dude,
Hmm.
I wish I could go like I wish I could experience that. Okay, so you kind of like did that and then I assume that you started doing like not anonymous. So you started showing your face during that transition, right?
Yeah. So after that kind of happened, and Elon was taking over, things weren't going as well. I wasn't able to sell like retweets, which I was selling on my accounts because I had massive accounts. Just none of that was working very well. Yeah, I
Sorry,
started
how
my
big was your account? How big was your account? How big did you get your anonymous accounts?
yeah. So one of them was at over 480,000 followers right now. Another one's at over 33,000. And then I sold a bunch of other accounts that were over 200, 300,000. So I had a big
Gotcha.
network of those accounts. Yeah. Sorry, what was your question about there?
And, like the when you transition to like a faced account, like not no longer anonymous.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, once I saw that coming, I started my own Twitter account with my face on it and started teaching people how to ghostwrite, I guess you could say. And just yeah, I just started posting more about my personal life. And that was honestly a really tough transition. Like I don't know about you, but like at least when you first go into like any personal branding, YouTube, Twitter, I guess you could even say LinkedIn, like it's hard to let your personal thoughts go out. And then once you kind of get it, it's like, oh wow, like this is really easy. Like I just talk about my normal life. I put it in kind of some formatted like frameworks, I guess you could say, and it's actually not that hard. But in the beginning, especially, like I quit for I think about a month because I just it was just not my thing for that while I wasn't seeing any results. It's tough. And then yeah, I kind of just stuck with it after that first month. Never have quit since. Never missed a day. And slowly just figured it out how to do it.
Right. And how did you like monetize at that point when you were already like did you already have clients when you started showing your face?
Yeah, so I had one client that I was doing personal branding for. We actually did some decent work and stuff for them, but it was hard to get any other clients because I didn't have a business set up. It was more of a
Right.
freelancing bunch of outreach. It wasn't repeatable systems, I guess you could say. So, like I mentioned a little bit before, I had joined a coaching program that really helped me set up my business, landing page, how to send cold email, set up other marketing channels besides that, how to set up operations, how to train people, which I eventually started to hire. So all of those things started to come together, and I was able to start getting more clients. But yes, in the beginning, I only had one client, and that was really tough.
Yeah. And how did you start growing from there? Because then now what I want to know is how you transition to LinkedIn. Because now you're like a full blown I think you're full blown LinkedIn, you're not really doing much of X anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, I take on a few like X clients if they want LinkedIn and X together. But yeah, I transitioned to LinkedIn because it's less posts, so it's easier on us. The workload is way lighter, but it's way easier to connect with the decision makers because every possible decision maker you can think of is on LinkedIn. So we can reach out to them way easier. We can build connections with them way easier. So I just saw that as a less of a friction point if we went to LinkedIn fully on the side of our clients having to do work and on the side of us doing work. So I tried it out with one of our clients, got really good results with them, and they kind of just never looked back. Slowly started transitioning from the clients I had on Twitter, started kind of fading away from that and started focusing fully on a LinkedIn offer and getting clients with from or not from LinkedIn for LinkedIn.
Right. So yeah, that makes sense. The only thing this is just like my personal thing with LinkedIn. I don't get much momentum there because I don't know, man. It's just so cringe, bro. When
No,
I
that's
stay
true.
there, when I stay there so much, it's like it becomes so. Ah, dude, like who would write this? But then it gets like 500 likes or something. I'm like, bro.
Yeah. No, you're right. Like LinkedIn is like super cringy, but that's also kind of what makes it easy. It's like you just appeal to these people. The frameworks all kind of stay the same. It's not like Twitter where random frameworks you're continually needing to like change up stuff to find virality, to find leads. It's so much more easy on LinkedIn, even though it 100% is more cringeworthy there.
Yeah, I can't do that. I mean, maybe I'll try it soon again, but I can't stay like 30 minutes there, dude. Like,
Yep.
when I start engaging, I'd be like, bro, what is this? Like, yeah. Anyways, so right now, how does like now what I want to ask is like, how do you offer stuff? Like, is it more of growth, lead gen? Like, how do you communicate your value to your clients?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And it does change kind of depending on what the client needs at that time because we can cater a little bit. But for the most part, we offer leads. That's our main systems right now or our main offer. Secondary is growth, and then third right now that I want to increase a little bit more is simply building a social presence because by building a social presence, everything else is going to perform better in your business. Everyone that's looking
Mm.
at your ads is going to look you up. They're going to see your LinkedIn and they're going to see active content. They're going to see an active profile that's perfectly optimized to convert the viewer. So social presence is another big one. But yeah, those are the main three things right now.
Leads, follower growth, and like social presence, right? Like more personal branding. Would you say
Yeah.
something like that? Like social presence?
Yeah. I mean, I clarified as LinkedIn client acquisition because we focus more
Okay.
so on finding the connections and then DMing those connections and converting them. And then a bonus of that is that you do grow at the same time. Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
so you also kind of do like appointment setting somewhat.
Yeah, yeah, a big part of that is
Okay.
appointment setting. So yeah, that's why I don't necessarily like to classify it as ghostwriting so much anymore. I'm trying
Yeah.
to get away from that term as I want to I want to be perceived as a full-on service, not just one
Mm.
specific thing that like you need to add on extras to that. Like, okay, there's ghostwriting, but now I need someone to do the outreach. Now I need someone to actually talk to the people in within the outreach and then convert them to a call. I wanted to combine all those things so that it's one service that someone can just hire me for and get the full benefit of LinkedIn.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's also something that I came to be like before. So just to share a little bit of my experience. So before I like did, I also took a course and basically it's a ghostwriting course and they teach you like you just offer like you build them out a lead magnet basically. And that's the only offer that I had. But then my first client, I ended up doing everything for him because it's like you have a lead magnet, but then what's the point? Like no, there's no traffic, there's no social content. So I started like doing social content to him, but then what we learned is that okay, you have a lead magnet, you have social content, but you still like if you're a small account, you kind of need to engage people. You need to like go into the DMs. So it became this like full blown like appointment setter. I'm basically doing everything from lead magnet to socials to DMs. And sometimes I'm afraid that it's like I'm doing too much. But then now that I'm hearing from you, it's like I think it does make sense a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, 100% makes sense. It's hard in the beginning, especially because like you specifically have to do that all yourself. So the amount of time you're putting into each system and having to like get like hyper good at each part of that takes a lot of time. There's a huge learning curve, I would say, for doing that. But then like it's like once you get a few clients, you're able to hire some people that are specifically can do those things. It starts to blow up because you can just focus on the things that you're good at and they can focus on the things that they're good at. And then since you're making more money, you can pay those people and it just it's just a way better system once you just get going a little bit, get a little bit of momentum and hire.
Yeah, and back to the offer, it just makes so much more sense because like most ghostwriters, dude, you good?
Camera went out. Yeah, I'm good.
in terms of like ghostwriting, a lot of the people I know kind of just promise followers, and I'm thinking like, dude, like I know so many people who have so many followers who are broke. Like I don't think my
Yeah.
clients want that, right?
Yeah, especially like you see that on Twitter, like so many of the accounts that grew like in the anonymous times kind of. It's like, okay, they have 50,000 followers, but their offer like sucks. Like nobody's on their account commenting. You don't see any social proof from them. It's like, wait, what the heck? But it's like the followers don't mean anything. Those could all be freebie guys. Like it just doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, and you can buy it, man. Like
That's true
as far
too.
as I know, right? If you can
Yeah.
buy followers.
Yep.
So
That's
okay.
dumb though.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Okay,
Nope.
so you're doing like some lead gen, and if you don't mind, like how big is your agency now?
In terms of clients,
Well, maybe in terms of clients and the team as well.
yeah. So, I mean, our team is a team of 7 people now. So we've got 2 writers on the team and then a bunch of VAs kind of that do the smaller tasks that you can kind of assume that go along with like our LinkedIn. And then, yeah, for in terms of clients, we have 8 to 10 clients that we're taking on monthly or that we have monthly. So yeah, that's kind of where we found our balance right now and just focus on getting better results and then just charging more and staying within that model for right now.
Right, right, right. And like for you, what do you think your vision is in terms of the business, like for yourself? Are you trying to
Yeah.
scale up to like a, I don't know, like an empire or something? Like, what are you looking at right now?
Yeah, I've thought about that both ways. And now starting to have more hires, having more kind of moving parts, I guess you could say. I don't think I wanted what I initially thought of having 100 clients or something. That's just not realistic necessarily. It is possible, but it's just not. It's not fun to have to do quality control on 100 plus people. Like, okay, that's massive. So more so, what I want to do in the future and what I've already started to transition to is charge more and have less clients. 10 clients at 10K a
Mm,
month. That's still 100K a month every single month. Like that's massive. So that's more so my goal that I'm after right now.
right. Yeah, that totally makes sense, dude. And that's also what I want to do because it's just so it's harder to sell, but it's so much simpler to fulfill. You know, like if you
Yeah.
just have one client, especially with the model, because I feel like we have the same, somewhat the same model. When you do
Hmm.
everything for them, and you can just start upselling shit. You know, like you can, oh, you want an email too? Like,
Hmm.
well, you're gonna pay me more, but you're gonna have more clients, right? Like you just start upselling them into different services
Hmm.
until the point that you're basically their marketing branch, right?
Yep. I think upsells are a great like way to do that as well. But like what I'm like really focusing on now is just like finding even better clients. The ones where
Mm,
like I can implement the same system, but because they already have awesome funnels in place, they already have a little bit of a brand presence. Everything I do amplifies so much more that they're able to bring in
mm,
100 leads a month. And because they bring in 100 leads a month, now they're making $100,000 just from me, even though it's the exact same service. And if I did that exact same service for somebody making $10,000 a month, they only might be making a few thousand extra dollars every single month. So just by doing that, finding the right type of people, I'm able to charge way more because the value actually goes up when even if I'm
right.
delivering the same service.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. Well, now you're making me think about that. Because like now that totally makes sense because if you have someone who it's basically like you're just the cherry on top, but then the cherry
Mm-hmm.
like makes everything the cake so good. That's
Yeah.
like of course they're gonna pay you $10,000. Like you make
Mm-hmm.
them more.
Yep.
And that makes sense. So how do you like in terms of lead gen, how do you like qualify those leads? What are you looking at in terms of what a good client is?
Yeah, I mean, I have like a few things in place. Like, I want them to be making over $100,000 a month because otherwise, it's just not going to work as well. If they're at $100,000 a month, that means they got a bunch of case studies, testimonials that I can
Mm,
incorporate into content. So that's really a good benchmark for me that I found so far. They need to be good communicators. Obviously, we can't be having people that aren't willing to go on calls somewhat regularly to give us info for content and stuff. But I mean, those are a few things that I look for. But yeah, really just being able to have those funnels in place, that's those systems in place, so that that 1% that we make them better is actually a massive difference in their income for them. Um, so yeah, I think that would be my answer.
gotcha. So what I want to ask then is somewhat of a more of a personal advice for me because I'm still at the
Hmm.
early stages. Like I'm in my first year, and I've made like a good money, like
Hmm.
lived all like I'm actually living a comfortable life compared to before, but um because now my clients are kind of not in that stage of like 100K. Well, they are, but the thing is, I'm working with people who they have a business, they have established business, but they want to start another business online. And so I'm the one who's like helping them start that. So it's kind of like hard because we're basically starting off scratch, although we do have those like the case studies, like social
Hmm.
proof. So how would you say, like, for someone who's kind of starting out, not really, they haven't really established a brand, they don't have social proof yet, how could they get like those good clients so that they could charge more, get to your level, I guess, something like that. That
Yeah,
makes
but
sense.
still working with that same niche you're saying.
Yeah, something like that. So just like basically what would the steps for someone like just on my in my position to like get to your level where it's like working with clients who you can actually get results from because it's hard to get results for people who are starting off.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit tougher. I have seen this work. Like, if you think of Alex Hermosi, the first things he was doing was still working on his business. He was working on gym launch, but now he's transitioned to client acquisition. So it's like he transitioned from one thing to the next, and somebody somewhere helped him with his second project, his second business. And
Mm.
that business was still starting from zero. But because he had everything in the past, he's a well known name, he was able to capitalize on that. So, what I would actually, my kind of advice with that is find those Alex Hermosis. Maybe they don't have to be that big, but find those guys that are massive already so that everything you do is already going to be amplified because they're a household name at that point. So I think it is harder because they're not going to be as many. But if you take the time to target well, to create awesome lists, and then reach out to those people to provide them value, then that's going to work way better than finding those guys that were making, sure, they were making $50,000 a month. They had some nice case studies and testimonials, and now they're transitioning, but nobody knows them. And
Right.
that's
Okay.
where that gets tough because you're starting from zero, absolute zero. Nobody knows them. Nobody cares about their prior businesses. But if you have Alex Ramosi, everyone still cares about him. Doesn't matter. He could start a business right now if he wanted, and people he would have leads in the first day. He could grow
Yeah,
another
yeah, yeah.
social media account if he wanted to go to Instagram and blow it up on a anonymous account or a semi anonymous account, Alex Ramosi 2.0 or something. He could do that because he's already a household name. So it's really about finding those quality leads that are already positioned, I guess you could say, to go viral. They just need your help because they don't have the time.
Right. Okay, okay, that makes sense. And it completely makes sense because it's what I basically helped one of my clients do just recently, dude. It's my first time seeing that much money. Like I made him 150,000 in like 7 days. And I was like, holy shit, dude! I've never seen that much money in my life. Like when, and he has before I worked with him, he had 50,000 followers on Instagram. Now we after like 90 days, we've added like 12,000. So we're like on an upward spiral. So we're actually doing well. But what I helped him most with is building the back end, like the infrastructure, like setting up the newsletter, having
Mm-hmm.
an email list, having a lead magnet, having an offer. Dude, he didn't have an offer. He was just growing his social media. So I guess that is something. Is that something like you would agree on?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, those clients are awesome too because it's like they have the money. They just need a little bit of help. And like if you can do that for them, then yeah, I mean that's awesome. Those are like some dream clients that you want to run into.
Right. Okay. Okay. So that's great, man. Qualifying.
For sure.
Okay. So now I want to go back to like the one I asked about, like longevity. Has there any been a
Hmm.
time where, well, you said you quit a little bit? What's your mindset on that? Because a lot of people on X, and I also felt that there was many times when I wanted to quit. Sometimes there's like a month where you're just zero, right? Like, or even like it's just super bad. I don't know, like something
Hmm.
happened, you're in debt or something. How do you keep on going, especially at such a young age where it's like so many opportunities? There's also like the woman in the red dress syndrome, all that good stuff. Like, how do you handle those things?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah, to kind of go back to my story earlier, the reason I had quit for that month was because I was making money still on the anonymous side of things. And I wasn't making any money on the social personal branding side. So I was like,
Mm,
okay, this isn't worth it. Like, why would I want to do this? Why would I
mm,
not just put my time into something that actually is already making money? And I did come back because I saw the potential in it. But I do think that it's dangerous to put all of like your eggs in the social media personal branding box because that's not your business. Posting on Twitter is not my business.
mm,
Doing LinkedIn client acquisition is my business. So when
mm,
people associate like staying consistent on Twitter, it's like, okay, you posted 100 times, but what did you actually do that is making you money now? Like that's not doing anything. That's just a form of lead generation. If you have no business set up, how in the world do you expect that to stay consistent? How in the world are you going to stay consistent with that when you don't see money coming from that? You aren't. So you need to separate those two things. One is your business, another thing is Twitter or LinkedIn, and that's your lead gen. So I think like separating those two is massive. Yes, you should be posting on Twitter and LinkedIn. Yes, I'm glad I came back and did that because I have gotten a bunch of inbound leads. I have gotten a bunch of booked calls from tweets and stuff. But if that went away today, I would still be 100% fine because my business is still there. So I guess my answer to all of that is like if you just build a business, it's not gonna you're gonna want to stay consistent in those because that's your lead gen. It's not your full business
mm.
to stay consistent on there. So it's okay if you take a week off or something. I mean, you shouldn't, but yeah, I think that would be my answer to that.
Right. So it's just like Twitter is just a part of your business, but not your business, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, because like I think we one thing that could fall into a trap as well is like I don't know if you've experienced that. Have you been paid off like the creator thing? Have you ever experienced that like the creator payouts?
I have on my anonymous accounts. It doesn't make that much money.
How much have you made from that?
Yeah, I think like $700 in the past like last year. So I mean, it's not
Dude,
like
12
it's not
months.
bad, but it's not like okay, cool. Like
Yeah.
I paid for my coffee this year. Nice.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I think that's something that people fall into as well. But yes, like separating the business side and the Twitter side.
Hmm.
So, in terms of business side, then, like if you have struggles with the business itself, how do you like maybe like I don't know, a client's leave or your revenue dips, all that. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that's a good question and something that any agency or business owner is going to face. I faced this multiple times, especially like in the beginning, when you only have two clients, three clients, and one leaves. It's like okay, that's a big hit to my revenue that month. Like that may be 33%, 50% of my revenue that month if they're gone. But I do think that the more you kind of get into it, the more you continue to push and never just become like okay, this is enough. I'm okay right now for this month. And just take that month off a little bit because you seem set. That's when everything starts to go better. That's when you start having leads that are finally converting. When there's everyone's went through this that when you have times when it's like I got three leads in the back end and these are going to be massive leads like and then just none of them convert and it takes another month. Then it's like okay, maybe one converted, those other two are not converting and I just lost another client so I'm back to even. It's like okay, those three leads aren't as good as I like was imagining in my mind. So you need to start continually like be creating your own luck in a sense and be like, okay, no, I need to get through these amazing leads every single month because I know that
Mm,
they are not all going to convert. So that's how I try to stay more consistent in my business when things are going bad. I just continue to push. I don't wait around for things to work out. Because that never works out. You just need to continually like add on so that luck eventually does like come or like or excuse me like turn into another client
right, right.
because yeah I mean that stuff does happen and it's not fun but that's what it's going to happen to everyone.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. There's definitely some times when I slacked off with my sales pipeline, then like a client leaves and be like, shit, I don't have I don't have revenue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I try to do every day, actually. Every day I try
Hmm.
to like fill that up, look for more leads.
Yeah,
So with that in mind, like I are you correct me if I'm wrong, you're 18 or 19?
I'm 19.
19. So you're such an early well, I'm 22, so it's not that far. But at such an early age, you're running a somewhat of a successful agency. Like you're running something that is working. Do you think like you'll be doing this forever, or like do you have any plans, anything that you're expanding towards? Maybe a little bit of crypto there, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it a few times and like how I would expand my service. I don't imagine anytime in like the future like just completely switching niches, but I do see it like I went from anonymous accounts to Twitter personal branding for people and then from LinkedIn. I do see it continually switching a little bit to focus on what works. I do feel now though that I'm really comfortable with my offer, and I think that where we are now is a repeatable system that I see working for other people. So it's a lot easier to stay put now and then just continually like add on to that a little bit. But because you're adding on, maybe that does still transition. So I don't necessarily have anything in the like the long term future that I would
You're thinking
foresee me
about
doing. Yeah.
right.
But I do see me like potentially adding on a Twitter full service again, or adding on a YouTube
Mm.
service and joining up with another agency potentially, things like that. But for the most part, just staying in there, maybe getting an offer on the agency and selling, and that would be like the really long term goal. And then transitioning completely into something new. But that's a really long term goal. But yeah,
Right, right. So right now you're just focused on the present, like delivering her clients, all that.
yeah, for sure. Yep, I'm happy with where I'm
Gotcha.
at right now.
Awesome. Okay. So this is like my question. If you were to start again, like so now, like we talked about your journey, you talk about your, what you've seen. If let's say that um the world reset and suddenly you are in 2025, but you don't have like your team, you don't have your clients, and you were to start from scratch, what would you do? Like, what would the steps be to get to where you're at, and how long do you think it will take?
Yeah, ooh, that's a good question. Let me think. Yeah, so I guess the steps I would do would be obviously like first of all like learn if I don't have any of my prior knowledge. Do I have my prior knowledge?
So you're like you just transported, but you're still the same
Okay.
person. So you have the
Okay.
skills. Yeah,
Okay.
you have your skills now, but you don't have the resources.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So then the first thing I would do is I would just ramp up outreach. I would do as much like Dream 100 outreach as possible. Be giving away free value to every single like high value
LinkedIn or
person.
X?
What?
LinkedIn or X?
On
Both.
LinkedIn still.
LinkedIn. Okay.
And yeah, I would just be going insane. Like I would sign a bunch of clients in that first month because I would be giving out so much like free content to people that actually need it and stuff. And just go. I mean, I would just go from there. Like I don't think like enough people like recognize like it's not that hard to get clients if you actually like are able to deliver something to them in the first place they want, get them some results for free, and then they're like, okay, we want you to do this for real. How much do you cost? Like, you don't have to have any testimonials. Like, I've done this myself. Like, it works way, 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 way better than people think. Like, too many people, like myself in the beginning, just sit around expecting things to work eventually. When it's like, no, actually, like things can work really, really quick if you have a skill.
So yeah, I think that's something that people like miss on because on X, I don't know if you like this is kind of controversial, but everyone on X is like looking for a magic pill. Like they're looking
Mm-hmm.
for that magic offer that they're gonna present to people and then they're gonna be 10K per month. It's like, dude, the way I got to 10K per month was ugly, man. Like it was ugly. It wasn't I'm gonna have an offer, a perfect offer document, and I'm gonna send it to someone and they're gonna sign it. Dude, I had to like do a bunch of performance based stuff, so like
Mm-hmm.
basically commission. I had to figure out ways to get results in a very ugly way, like whatever means necessary. But then it becomes better because you actually see what works. So it's like in the beginning it's kind of like volume. That's why I like what you said there. It's like you just do a bunch of outreach, which is probably what you also do with your clients, which is like a bunch of content and a bunch of outreach for your clients.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like you just yeah, you kind of have to just take what comes at you in the beginning and go full force ahead. Like that's the reason I kind of feel comfortable now. It's because like we're getting results. We've tested a bunch of things. We tested Twitter, we tested LinkedIn, we've tested 100 different niches, we tested different offers, we tested different types of content, and now we're finally starting to find what's repeatable. But in the beginning, you
Mm,
need to go through that whole process. You need to test the niches. You need to see what works, what doesn't, what you need to add in, what services you need to buy to combine with yours. And that just takes time. And the faster you get through that phase, the faster you're going to get to 10K a month, faster you're going to get to 25K a month, 100K a month. So yeah, that's I think what you said is really sums that up nicely.
Awesome, awesome, man. Cool. So, um, with that, is there anything that you're launching right now? Like, do you have an event, a program, anything that you're looking to push?
Honestly, not really. I would say my YouTube actually the most. I've been posting a lot more on
Right,
YouTube
yeah.
and
Yeah,
just getting
I've been
into
seeing
that.
it.
Yeah, so I mean, I posted like a 40-minute video the other day. I'm really just trying to add as many videos as possible and grow that. I think it's just gonna be it's got another good lead gen channel, but I think like more so it's just a really good nurturing channel that I'm trying to grow right now. So no events or necessarily anything to promote except for that.
Do you think you'll be having an offer there as well soon? Like script writing or something?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I'd still like to stick with LinkedIn for right now. Yeah, we're seeing
Okay.
good results, like I said, with LinkedIn, so no need to switch right now.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, man. Well, to anyone who wants to consume more of your content, where can people find you? Dude?
Yeah, they can find me on Twitter and LinkedIn specifically. Logan at Logan T Gott on Twitter, and then just Logan Gott on LinkedIn. You'll find me pretty easily. On YouTube, I believe it's Logan T Gott as well. Once again, it's a little bit easier with a last name that's different from people because people can find you a little bit easier, which is nice. Instead of like Dan Johnson or something, you can't find them ever. But yeah, that's where you guys can find me.
Awesome, man. So we'll link those down below. And well, yeah, man, that's Logan got for you. That was very value packed. Thank you for hopping in, man, and thank you for sharing your knowledge here.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Cheers.
Sounds good. See ya.